Being a new DbD survivor and sorting the good perks from the bad ones goes a little something like this.
We're in big trouble, we have to do something!
I don't know what to do, my whole brain is crying!
Today I want to go over 10 of the worst perks for new survivors, the reason I don't recommend them, and suitable alternatives I'd offer up in their stead. Now full disclosure, not all of these perks are quote unquote bad. They're just especially bad for newer players and some of the play styles that they gravitate to. And with that, let's get right into the list. Starting out, we have Urban Evasion. Simply put, this Nia perk allows you to move twice as quickly while you're crouched. I think the reason why this perk is so popular to newer players is that stealth is the name of the game, and while stealth can play a part in DbD, it's not going to improve your looping skills or your performance against killers. In addition to that, I give you less than 100 hours before you think stealthing is boring and you run around the map like me.
Somebody hunt me! I'm Mr. Always Wants to Be Hunted!
I will say there are a few ranged killers you're going to be able to get easy value from with this perk, but it's going to be situational at best. Instead of Urban, I'd recommend the perk Fixated, which increases your walking speed and works great with exhaustion perks or even if you run it on its own. Number 2, we have Boil Over. A great way to know that your Baby MMR's killer is counting how many survivors have boiled over in your lobby. This perk belongs to Kate, and it works by increasing your wiggle effects while you're being carried, hiding nearby hook auras, and granting higher wiggle progression if the killer falls from a great height. Now, the reason I wouldn't recommend this perk is because the second you're out of Baby MMR with killers, surprise, they know where the hook spawns are and when to slug a survivor with Boil Over if it's impossible to get them to a hook. Now, if you're a fan of Boil Over, then you're probably thinking, this perk goes great with Breakdown, Flip-Flop, and Tenacity.
Okay, let's start, I don't care!
Call me old-fashioned, but any perk that relies on 1 or even 2 support perks to make them good aren't good, they're just wasting perk slots. Obviously, you're free to run any build of your choosing, just don't be surprised when your anti-hook build gets you permaslugged for the duration of the trial. Number 3 is Calm Spirit. This perk belongs to Jake and not only prevents you from screaming for the match, but also from alerting crows to your presence, unless of course you step directly on them, silences opening chests and cleansing totems with a debuff to your speed, and adds a special squishy sound whenever you get hooked.
Gross!
Now this perk will come in handy if you run into Herman. But other than him, there's not a huge survivor screaming meta at the moment outside of Phantom Fear and maybe Ultimate Weapon. If the sheer volume and amount of screaming of the match is taking you off guard, trust me, you're gonna get used to it before you know it. There aren't a ton of alternatives I'd recommend, especially not Scene Partner. Sorry, spoilers. Instead of Calm Spirit, I just slap on Jake's S tier perk Iron Will, which silences your grunts of pain while you're injured and is hands down one of the easiest perks to gain consistent value from. Number 4 is Technician. This Fung perk works by silencing misgen skill checks at the cost of more regression than the standard 10%. The first reason I wouldn't recommend this perk is missing a skill check does more damage to a gen than it would if you weren't running it. The second reason is that it only works on gen skill checks and does nothing for healing checks, because that's an entirely different perk. Hitting your skill checks will be second nature over time until you're only hitting greats, so in the meantime just focus up and do your best, especially when you run into this nightmare. Number 5 is Self-Care. This perk allows you to self-heal without a medkit at 35% of the usual healing speed, meaning it takes 46 seconds in total, or about half the time it takes to complete a gen. Now, if you ever see me self-caring in the corner, please be a lamb and lead the killer my way, because I'd rather die by their hands than the boredom of healing 1 health state over the course of 46 seconds, brother. I'm fine. Now, self-care's only saving grace is Botany Knowledge, which when you run with self-care reduces the heal time down to 30 seconds instead. If you run both perks together, then it pretty much works out to be the same as 2 survivors using 16 seconds each to heal 1 health state, as opposed to just 1 survivor using 30 seconds. However, I would recommend a perk like Bond so you can see the aura of nearby teammates, and if they're injured too, then you can get a double reset in with the same amount of time and provide better support to the team. Number 6, Windows of Opportunity.
It's riot time!
Okay, now before you panic, I'm just going to remind you that this is a bad perks list for newer players, not all players. This crutch perk belongs to Kate, and it shows the aura of nearby windows, pallets, and breakable walls for whatever reason. If you're new to the game, I get it, there are a lot of maps and it's confusing.
I have directional insanity. I once got lost on an escalator.
Now, if you're an experienced player with decent looping skills, then this perk reveals ways to connect your loops and shows available resources. However, if you're new to the game, then this is a pallet or a wood chipper, creating dead zones and map destruction disguised as training wheels. The perk Windows isn't going to make you good at looping, just like the perk Bamboozle isn't going to make you good at chasing. There's no get-rich-quick scheme to learning tiles, greeting, faking, mind gaming, camera control. That's all going to take you as long as it takes you. If you're a casual gamer and you're not looking to improve in chase and you just want to autopilot, then by all means run this perk. Just be wary of killer blindness add-ons and perks.
I'm lost!
But if you're looking to set yourself up for success, identify resources out of chase, learn your camera control, and enjoy the ability to loop without the #1 crutch perk. Number 7, Distortion. This perk belongs to Jeff and grants tokens to hide your aura from the killer when they attempt to read it.
I'm sure I'm invisible.
Hi, Drax.
The reason this perk is so terrible is because DbD Survivor is a team-based role. Yes, even in solo queue. Simply put, hiding your aura and pushing that pressure off to the rest of the team means extra pressure for them to take on. If you're running Distortion to know which aura reading perks the killer has, think it's better to just pretend they have the usual perks like Nowhere to Hide and Barbecue or Darkness Revealed if you're going against a Huntress. Now, I will admit I did also have a Distortion era, and I ended up substituting it out for Object of Obsession. With Object, I was able to confirm which aura reading perks the killer had, and I was also able to improve pretty quickly in Chase because I was forced into them much more often. If Object isn't something you want to take on, then I'd recommend other killer aura reading perks like Kindred or Alert to keep tabs on the killer's location. Number 8, Decisive Strike. This perk belongs to DbD's first licensed survivor who's leaving the store on the 19th. Basically, after getting unhooked, you have a 60-second window where if you go down and the killer picks you up, you can land a difficult skill check to escape their grasp and continue the chase. Now, right now, you're probably thinking that DS is not a bad perk, and you are right. It is not a bad perk when it is used as a defensive perk. If you are trying to force value out of it by running back to the killer, encouraging them to tunnel you, then congratulations, they probably will even after you stab them and bag them. Also, quite often, the killer is just going to slug you rather than eating the DS because a slugged survivor always slows down the match. I don't know about all of you, but ever since Behavior started taking measures to reduce tunneling, I've mostly seen the Streisand effect where it's only gotten much worse. If you run this perk, 100% more power to you. I think it's great. I've run it plenty of times. I just recommend keeping it in your back pocket as an insurance policy rather than trying to force it. Also, definitely don't miss your skill check because there is very little in this game more painful than a missed DS check. Number 9, Invocation, Treacherous Spiders, and Weaving Crows. Wait, Carnivorous Carrion and Treacherous Tarantulas. Nailed it.
I'm more off-putting.
No, I'm more off-putting.
I'm adding both basement invocations to the list for the most obvious reason.
You're both just awful.
Losing a health state for the entirety of the trial and wasting a solid minute in the basement isn't a fair trade-off for the brand new part that's installed on every gen or the 2-second aura reveal on the killer when they step on a crow. You know what you get when you spend 60 seconds sitting still in every other game? That's right, 2/3 of a gen. Just do that instead. If you can't be convinced to not invocate, then I would say leave the crows in their nest and go for weaving spiders. It's the better of the two. Number 10, Soul Survivor. And I'm throwing in Left Behind as well since they go together like peanut butter and jelly. If you see a teammate, let's call her Fung, chilling in the corner of the map waiting for you to die over the course of 8 minutes, then chances are she's running one, if not both, of these perks. With Soul Survivor, you open exit gates faster, which stacks depending on how many of your teammates have been off, and with Left Behind, you see the hatch's aura within 32 meters. The reason I'd never recommend either is obvious. Survivor is a team-based game, and any perk that relies on your teammates to be dead isn't really ideal for teamwork.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Instead of running either of these perks, I'd recommend running into the killer when they're tunneling a teammate repeatedly because that's much more fun than ratting in the corner. That's it for the list, which means it's time for disclaimer and also potentially the hottest of takes. Perks aren't everything. You can easily play DbD running none of the meta perks and still having a great time. There are even some achievements for running only general perks 2 or 3 at a time, and I can't recommend enough to switch up your playstyle if the game ever feels stale. The point of this video is because I hear too many new gamers saying that they can't see without windows and they can't loop without live. Thanks for watching, and regardless of the perks you run, have fun running in the fog. Hasta la vista, baby.